Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you can, as per usual, stick into the comments that you can hear me loud and clear, just so I know this is all coming across to you as it should. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay. Brilliant. So that looks like things are coming across as they should be, which is always a good start to these shows. I'm getting a low signal warning. Let me check. Cool. Okay, folks, we will get on with this. Welcome to this session from Client Engager. For those who don't know me, I'm Johann. I am part of the Client Engager team. And one of the benefits of Client Engager is that it's not run just by software developers. It's run by 2/3 of the team have their own practices. So I and Andy are constantly playing with new toys and softwares. And one of the things I've been playing with for about 3 or 4 months now is AI and Chat GPT. And there are lots of other practice management softwares and other accounting ledgers and stuff out there that's saying we're going to bring in AI and we're going to power this, we're going to power that, and we'll sat waiting for development. But what I've been playing with is how I can use Chat GPT as it is now. So I'll take you through what Chat GPT is, B, some ideas and use cases, and I'll answer any questions you guys have got. So feel free to stick all your questions into the comments and I will go through them and answer them as best I can. If I can answer them as I go, I will. If not, I'll come back to them and I'll make sure I've answered them all before the end of this live session. So let's talk what ChatGPT is. Basically, ChatGPT is an AI tool that is a language-based AI tool. There's normally 2 tools out there. There's a language-based, so very good at written words and rewriting things and coming up with stories and paragraphs and stuff like that. And then there's mathematical, which will be more powerful for giving us analyzing balance sheets and profit and loss and giving us patterns and stuff like that. The one that's the most prevalent at the moment is the language-based AI because language is quite easy. You know, you can plug an AI into the website and into the internet, and it can analyze and download and deal with all sorts of language stuff. Mathematics is quite a much more challenging thing. So people like QuickBooks are building their own mathematical AI at the moment, which is really quite exciting about how they're going to be able to use that to power analyzing reports or predicting tax bills and stuff like that, which is quite cool. But at the moment, the one that's really publicly available is language AIs. So the one that everyone would have heard of, it's all over the media, is Chat GPT. And that's the one we're going to use today. So let's have a look at where we go to find this. So Chat GPT is from a company called OpenAI. So if you want to have a look at this, I'm going to show you how to get signed up and stuff today. So just search openai.com and that would bring you through to the Chat GPT website. And then you can click just sign up. And it's a very, very easy sign up process. There are 2 versions of Chat GPT. There's a free version that runs version 3.5 of Chat GPT. And there's a paid for version, which is £20 a month. And it runs Chat GPT 4 and it has access to all the beta features, normally about 6 months before they go into the free version. Everything I'm going to show you today can be done on the free version, and you'll have absolutely fantastic results. I do have the paid for version, and in some ways it is better, but you know, because it can now search the web and stuff. So I'm going to show you a few examples that will potentially only Chat GPT 4 will give you, but it is a very, very powerful tool. So Kath has just said in the comments that she used Chat GPT for the first time yesterday, used the free version to get an idea for an exit interview questionnaire. fantastic example, and we'll be looking at questionnaires in a bit, Kath. So yeah, go to the openai.com website and just get yourself an account. It's free to have. The only other limiting factor with the free account is if their software is really busy, you may have to wait or resubmit something, whereas the paid for version obviously gets priority in the queue. Having said that, it's very rare I ever come across any limitations on the free one. So visit openai.com and get yourself an account. When you do get an account, so I'm on the plus version, which is that £20 a month one. You know, the sacrifices and investment I make to research this stuff for our users. So £20 a month, and it saved me hours and hours and hours of time already. It's well worth the investment on my behalf. So when you're on the free one, you get two choices up here. You get Chat GPT 3.5 and you get 4.0. And with this one, you get a few new tools, like it can browse the internet and it can do plugins. And we'll come back to these bits in a bit. On the left-hand side here, you've got all your previous chats. Now, the reason it's really important to save these is Chat GPT, for data privacy reasons, forgets all the information you give it when you close down a chat. So if I got rid of one of these chats along here, it would be gone and it won't remember any of it. And one of the things you have to do with Chat GPT is you've got to train it in the same way you would train a human being to be able to then do the job you want it to do. So if you delete a conversation, that training's gone and you're starting from scratch. So it'll get to the point where you will have quite a lot of conversations here. So with that said, the other thing to be aware of is data security is still a bit of an unknown factor with this, because everything we teach it ultimately is learning on how to process this stuff. So you do need to be sensitive about the data you put in there. So if you were to put in a client's balance sheet, that's not an issue. You could copy and paste a balance sheet in there and tell it to analyze things and spot potential errors. But what I would do is I'd just copy the financial part of the balance sheet. I wouldn't involve the client's name at the top of that PDF or Excel document, just so I'm anonymizing the information I'm providing, and it can't be tied back to anything or anyone. So just bear that in mind when you're doing this. I've got a few other examples, but as I do stuff, I will just bring your attention to things like client data awareness. So as I've said, with ChatGPT, you basically train it on a conversation by conversation model. So you can have multiple versions of ChatGPT conversations with different skill sets. So up here, you'll notice I've got one called Bob. Bob's my personal assistant. So I'll go into Bob, he says when it loads. Excuse me one moment while I refresh. So if I go into Bob, you'll see I've been talking to Bob for a while. So the first thing you've got to do with ChatGPT is you've got to tell it in the conversation what you want him to be doing. What's the scenario? So I've said, you're now my personal assistant called Bob. You're English and educated to degree level in accounting and bookkeeping. You'll help me with my day-to-day work as I lead my team as a group managing director of On Point Accounting Group, a client-centric modern accounting firm supporting small businesses across the UK. So straight away, I've set the scene. And that's really important with ChatGPT. Otherwise, it could get a bit confused. And also, I'm telling it what kind of, it's basing basically the style of communication off all this. So it knows straight away that I'm focused on my clients. We're using technology. We're in accounting and we're in the UK. So it needs to refer back to HMRC, not the IRS in America and stuff like that. So setting the scene is really important. But then once you've done that, the power is pretty phenomenal. So what I'm going to do today is start a brand new conversation so you can see everything from scratch. And my internet is, there we go. Right. Let me just get rid of that. So what I want to show you first is how I started using this in the format of a client engager, basically. So what I did was I went to ChatGPT. Hello. That's all. Yes, it's a machine, but let's be polite. So we'll say hello. You work for a UK-based accounting. Help me improve some templates. If I tell it that, be happy to help you improve your accounting templates. Could you please provide me more information? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go into my client engager and I'm going to go to my settings and I'm going to go to my message templates. Basically, I want this to actually improve some of my communications. So what I'm going to do is proposal email. I'm going to copy and paste this into Chat GPT. But first, I'm going to tell it what it is and what I want it to do. I'm going to say, can you please rewrite the below email template? This is a proposal email. Make it enticing and professional to improve the chances of the prospect signing. So then I'm going to paste that email in. Now, take note before I press enter here. I've put in I copied this straight out of Client Engager. I've got Dear, and I've got my placeholder in here, got my fees table in here, and I've got my signing link in here, and I've got my current user place bracket in here. So straight away, it's created me an email. So let's have a look at what it's done. First of all, it's realized and recognized placeholders in that first email. So it's now saying, Dear contact first name. I hope this email finds you well. I want to express my gratitude for considering our firm, blah, blah, blah. It then knows to put a name in there at your accounting firm. So we can put our name in there. Fees table is there. So straight away, with absolutely no hassle whatsoever, this has been made better for me. But it's quite a long email. I'm going to make it shorter and more friendly because that's the more in style of how we would do this. So there we go. It's done that. And it's a bit shorter. So obviously there's only so much shortening you can do to get the information in. And it's focused around competitive pricing and exceptional service. So I could turn around to it and say, also highlight how I want it to make it a bit more focused around them. So again, it's got a bit longer again. So make this more concise. Bingo. So we've now got a shorter email. So straight away, I've got a really, really quick way to give me a professionally written proposal email. Other templates I've put in through this are where are we? Proposal email. I've done that one. So, client portal sign up request. Again, the template's quite short, but we'll copy that. This email and let's have a look what it comes up with. This is the 3.5 version. So this is the free version. And already you're seeing it's really quick to generate all these letters. So by joining the portal, you're going to get the following benefits: secure data exchange, efficient communication, easy e-signature, etc. And I can keep tailoring that as I go. I mean, it's even recognized the fact that there's a portal sign up link placeholder and put it in there. So it's really, really powerful. So that's how it could help rewrite all of your email templates really quickly. And as you teach it more about your firm, the quicker it'll, the more precise it will get to your language and your terminology. So you might like to use emojis. Rewrite this including emojis. There you go. Have you ever seen an accounting email have so many emojis in it? It's a fantastic tool. Now, you'll spot a LinkedIn post from AI from ChatGPT really easily because it'll have emojis all over it. It's really obvious. But yeah, so if you want to use emojis and have that kind of tone of voice and that approach to your clients, then it can handle that. No problems at all. So Kath's just saying perhaps as many thousands of people sign up the free version, it might get slower. It probably will. There are days and times where I struggle to get an instant answer on the free version, and I normally have to wait a couple of minutes and try again, just because the demand's there. So there is a risk it will slow down, but until you start suffering from it quite a lot, I would say stick with the free version. So there we go. We've looked at how we can create emails and stuff like that. So that's your email templates sorted. Another great example is to use it to help remove emotion from a situation. So, client sends you a letter complaining about levels of service or something. You could type your email out, copy it into here, and say, please make this email more professional and less emotional. And it can rewrite that for you, which is a great way to just diffuse a situation. So that's emails. So that's emails, and they're great. So what else can it do? Because that can't surely be it. Well, it's not. So I got a question the other day. Client emailed me saying, can you tell me where I can get my tax year overviews for my mortgage broker, please? I'm going to say, right, I want my personal assistant to write an email explaining to the client how they can get their own tax year overviews from HMRC. And I've told it I want it to include the links they need. Here we go, having to think now, which means it's busy. Give it a few more seconds and then I'll try it again. So this is what happens on the free version at times. So what I will do is I'll abandon the free version, start a new chat on the GTP4. So I just need to retrain it quickly. Retrain. So it's very good at praising us for doing things. So it's now currently trying to explain what terminology, how I could explain certain terminology to clients. So I'm going to stop it from generating that because I'm bored. I wanted to write an email explaining to a client how to get their tax overviews from HMRC include links to use. So it's given us a subject for the email. Dear client, blah, blah, blah. So here we go. So we're going to visit the online HMRC service portal, and there's a link to get into it. Click Start Now. After logging in, go here, done. How long would that have taken me to type out? Well, as you've seen by me typing today, it takes me a while to type, and it's riddled with mistakes and spelling and grammar due to my dyslexia. But this has just produced that in seconds. So that's a fantastic little tool. So it helps with templates, helps write out emails. What else could it do? Well, another thing I've used it for recently, ready for the new forms feature that comes out in July in Client Engager, is create a tax. See what it comes up with. So because the last question was in email format, it's now going to come up with everything in an email format. So it's writing this as an email at the moment. As you can see, you've got a request for personal information, subject, dear client, blah, blah, blah. But look at what it's asking for. Like, gets the personal details, it gets the income, it gets the expenses, it gets the everything else like that. Fantastic. Okay. I'm going to say rewrite this considering maybe held. So sometimes we've got some of these information. So it's now going, okay, so we're actually doing an update. We're not getting the original data. So it's asking us to confirm things. Have there been any changes? Have you received any extra taxable things that we don't know about? So it's so quick and easy. Right. So again, it's done it in that email format. Questionnaire. Okay, so it's still doing it as an email. So make it a questionnaire document, an email. There we go. It's leaving blank spaces. It's asking certain types of questions. Is it a yes, no question? If yes, please provide this detail. If no, leave it alone. So yeah, there we go. So we've got a whole questionnaire here. Now, when you've got this to edit it and stuff, all you need to do is quick copy here. Then you can paste it into a Word document or whatever you're using. So there, that's really good. Other examples might be a blog post explaining the latest. Now, it should warn me for this. Interesting. It hasn't warned me. That's not wrong. So basically, Chat GPT is fed with information from the internet, but its connection to the internet was severed from, and it doesn't know any information after September 2021. My understanding is that it will be turned back onto the internet September this year, which will take it up to September 2022. But basically, they try and keep a year of it not knowing stuff so it doesn't become too powerful and become the Terminator and take over, um, etc. So just be careful if it's modern information that you're looking for. It may not be completely up to date because it can't access the internet. So someone's just asked, are there any restrictions on using the information that it provides? E.g., if we use this on LinkedIn, is that okay? It's completely fine. You are creating your own intellectual property by using ChatGPT. You can use it content anywhere. So, I use it to reword LinkedIn posts quite often, or to inspire LinkedIn posts. So if I go through to, where's my mouse gone? There we go. So I've got a LinkedIn post generator conversation I've got here. He says when it loads, if it loads, it's a bit slow because I'm streaming. Okay, no, it's not going to load. Right. So I've got a LinkedIn post generator where I've told it to come up with some post ideas for LinkedIn content around a certain subject. So it can do all that really easily. So I'm going to create a new chat now because I want to show you another example of how I've used ChatGPT. So I'm going to go by senior accountant working in UK accounting. Training materials. We're going to go into training mode. Now we're back on 3.5, so let's see if it's going to load it or not. There we go. So it's coming out with a whole training plan of how it's going to train this accounting person straight away. Okay, so we've got, based on that, we know it understands what we're trying to do. Create a training plan to teach the new personal tax returns. So it's now coming out with a very detailed, to be fair, training module. I can't see. Right. Sorry, guys. Let me get rid of that pop-up box. Thank you, Kath, for letting me know. So in here, all I did was I said, create a training plan to teach the new person personal tax returns. And this is what it's come up with. So it's basically created a training schedule that these are all the areas I need to go through in a training session to teach my new accountant how to do a personal tax return and what we're looking for. I'm now going to say, using this outline, create a reference guide. New person refer to work. So it's now creating a load of resources where people can go back. You need guidance on checking your tax return. Here's some information on how to do that. So straight away, we've got a load of material. It's really helpful. Now, let me just bring something else up on my other screen because I just need to check. So, so there's a principle called the value pyramid, and basically the value pyramid it teaches the importance between value and how we add to it. There's also something called the accountability ladder, and there's another thing called ROE, which is results based working instead of time based. So I'm going to ask it some questions around these different things to see what it can come up with. So straight away, it's demonstrating to me that it understands the accountability ladder. I'm going to create a document. So straight away, it's highlighted all the areas that make up the accountability ladder. And it's now created a document outlining what we can do to improve our things and train people in the accountability ladder here. Yeah, so someone's just said, be careful, it recognizes. So that's why I always ask, do you understand something? So if another, for an example, so we'll use ROE. Do you know what ROE is? Results only work environment. Yeah. So straight away, it's clarified to me. It knows what I'm about to talk about. I'm now going to say, right, create that document for me. Brilliant. I could even say, now I'm going to go into more words, basically. There we go. So as you can see, there's absolutely tons of examples we can use here, whether we are creating a training guide, whether we are rewording emails, whether we are creating blogs for our websites, LinkedIn posts, etc. There's absolutely tons that Chat GPT can be used for that perhaps we've used it in the past for, we've used other things like marketing people to write our blogs and stuff. This is far more powerful, and it actually probably picks up understands your tone of voice and stuff really easily. So yeah, Kath's just saying, wow, training plans too. Suppose you need to go back over every answer with a fine tooth comb to ensure the accurate and exact. Yeah, you do need to review it, but no more so than you would review it if any of your team have written it, or if you've written it and you want to refresh and make sure it's right. So yeah, don't be led blindly by it, but it's certainly very powerful. Another thing you can do with it is, so if I open the Engager website, I'm going to tell it I'm going to get this to help me now update some of our website. So basically, it wants me to provide it with the existing copy or specific sections you'd like revised. So this is where I find we've not got a huge amount of copy. So we'll copy that. There we go. And it's now rewriting the content for our website, bearing in mind it's going to be looking at modern, approachable language that's based off what we're already using, and it's going to be more SEO friendly. So a really powerful tool there as well. If I have a look at my sales and onboarding optimization, let me have a look. Let me just have a quick look to see if there's anything else. Right, so that's a terrible example. That one's the client feedback form. Yes, right. So if we go back to the new chat. So another example I gave it a while ago, so we'll do it here live, is service value and so what I've said here is we want to gather regular feedback. One of the times we want to gather that feedback is annually. We want to create a series of questions to collect the feedback around service value, service value and communication. I'll put a comma in there just to make sure. And we're going to use Google Forms. Now, the reason I've told it to use Google Forms is because it's going to then give me the questions in a way that I can just copy them into a Google form. It's also going to put it into an email format, apparently. But if we ignore this top bit, it's now saying, please rate the following aspects of the service scale from 1 to 5, 5 being very satisfied. And it's come up with these questions, okay? So it's come up in two headings. One is scale service. One is more detailed background. So what I could do then, and just to prove a point, Google Forms. I'll create a blank form. Right. So if I go back to here, so we've got the bit of text up there, which we could put at the top here, actually. Let's do that. Form description. Got a form title. Okay. So I'm going to add a section. No, I'm not. So I've got my first question. How satisfied are you with this? So we'll put that into here. Overall. Now, in theory, so it's suggested, right, based on this, you're going to want to get these answers. So straight away, I've got a quick and easy form designed for me to go in and create it on Google. So I can add another question. And it's suggesting 1 to 5. Very happy. There we go. And that's classed it as a linear scale, which is probably more accurate than what I did up here. But yeah, so once again, in the space of seconds, ChatGPT has helped design a form for me to collect information to rate the client's overall opinion of us, which is really helpful. Now, there is one other. So, what I'll do is I'll share this somehow. But basically, I've written an instruction. I say I've written it. I've found this instruction online. Basically, your transaction bud, your helpful, concise utility. So we're giving it its instructions. But what I can do with this is I can copy and paste a client's bank statement or transaction lines into this, and it will try and work out what those categories for those transactions should be and how confident it is that it's going to be right. Now, I've not got any data here to be able to do this with at the moment. Have I? No, I don't think I have. But basically, first of all, I've just got to say where they are. So I would say it's UK based. So now all I have to do is paste the list of transactions from an Excel sheet or a PDF into here. And what it would do is it would process those and it will score every single, it would categorize each transaction. So it might say screw fix, repairs and maintenance, 85% confident. McDonald's, travel and sub, 90% confident. So it can go through and do all of that. So yeah, CAF, ultimately, CAF, the only thing that's stopping it from creating an actual form is nothing links into it at the moment to create that form. But just last month, they launched, when they launched Chat GPT 4, if I open this, when they launched Chat GPT 4, they've given it the ability to have plugins. So you can go to a plugin store and you can search for plugins like you would an app or something. And then it can use those to deal with things. So there's absolutely loads out here at the moment. There's no direct links to Google Forms or anything at the moment, though. But that's on the GPT-4, which is the paid for one. The other thing it can do is technically research the internet now using Bing. If it was using Google, it might be a bit more powerful, but the results from Bing are a bit hit and miss. Microsoft's AI on the evening of Digital Accountancy Show couldn't confirm or deny whether Whitney Houston was dead. So yeah, unfortunately, Bing let us down quite badly there, just because someone seemed to have missed the news. But yeah, it's Bing's not great. But when Google launched, like Google's got theirs out there at the moment, I've just not played with it. But yeah, once the internet catches up a bit more with this, it's got so much power. Someone's asked if I can share the text for could you give it the industry of the client to make it more accurate? Yes, you could. So you could just tell that text thing, transaction bud text, that's in construction or food or whatever it's in, and that will help improve the accuracy of the categorization of those transactions. And yes, I will happily share that transaction bud text at the bottom of this video once I've finished with it. But yeah, so as I've already shown you, there's loads of examples of how we can use this. Has anyone got any questions about this? I mean, I'll just show you why someone comes up with questions. It's also quite good for researching things that don't change over time. So a client asked me a question the other day that I haven't had to think about in a very long time. So the question was, can I... So if I put that question into Google, I'd then have to spend time going through all the articles to make sure what I'm reading is absolutely, relevant. But in this case, it's answered my question. Yes, you can restore a dissolved company, but not only that, it's actually answering how I do it. So yeah, really, really good for just research and replacing Google basically, from that point of view. Okay, so where's your backup documentation when using Transaction Bud? Well, this is true. So if you've not got the the documents, obviously, then you can't. You're going to struggle with a VAT inspection from HMRC. However, if it's stuff like direct debits and stuff, then at least we've categorized it to start with, and then we can tell the clients this is what's missing from your paperwork pile. Go find the paperwork. Someone wants to know how much is the paid version. So the paid version is £20 a month at the moment. So how much time has it saved me in the last 45 minutes of writing out all those documents, researching things, etc.? I would argue £20 a month is very worthwhile, but actually the free version would do pretty much everything I've done tonight. It's just whether there's capacity on their working servers at the time that you're trying to do it, and whether that works for you or not. It's up to you if you need that priority or if those plugins are really valuable to you. You said at the start about putting a balance sheet or P&L. Can you let us know an example of how that would work and what it can do about the results? So in theory, you can copy a balance sheet from a PDF or Excel document into here, and you can ask it to analyze it, look for basic mistakes. But ultimately, this is a language algorithm. It's not a numeric algorithm. And for that reason, its abilities with numbers are limited. So it got a lot of stick about 3 months ago because it couldn't pass the American CPA exam. Now, Chat GPT-4 has now passed the American CPA exam. And basically, they put it through it the first time, it failed. They then trained it like I've done, but in a lot more complexity, and it passed. And everyone gave it a lot of stick saying, well, you had to train it. It's like, yeah, but what do you go to college for 4 years in America? You train that individual to pass the exam. That's all they've done with this. But one of the exams it flew through straight away was in America. It flew through the lawyer exam, the bar exam. So technically, ChatGPT is a qualified American lawyer, if you want to be pedantic. But because the lawyer exams are so language heavy and written, it flew through that. Because the CPA exam is a numeric exam primarily, it struggled with that. So yeah, just be aware. That is not great with numbers yet, but it is coming. People like QuickBooks. So QuickBooks have got a whole team building an AI tool for QuickBooks at the moment. And they're taking all that anonymous financial data, teaching it how to spot patterns and stuff. So there's a lot of very cool things coming out in the near future. And yeah, like simple things like summarizing a report. So you can just say overall profit was up this year, turnover was up this year, this bit was down. So it could pretty much do that already, but it's going to be a lot more powerful once it gets more numeric learnings. As Kath said, the cost of ChatGPT is a business expense. So, yeah, definitely viable for business expense there. So, Facebook user said, usually, although I'm sure it could come up with a good letter to school to explain why I'm taking them out for Glastonbury next year, I'm sure it probably could. I'm sure it could absolutely justify why it's important to take your child out of school and go to Glastonbury from a cultural, musical, life learning lesson point of view. I'm sure it could absolutely nail that letter for you. Yeah. I mean, schools are already basically having to check work to see and find ways of spotting AI written essays, etc. Because they're out, it's doing it already. It's writing people's essays for them. Now, you question schools banned calculators. Oh, you're never going to have a calculator on you all the time when you're in adult life. So, well, actually, it's called a mobile phone. It's got a calculator takes notes, it's got an alarm, it's got a calendar, it's got a phone book, it makes phone calls, it sends messages. So you were wrong, teachers. But ultimately, teacher schools will ban this. Of course they will. You're not allowed to use Chat GPT. But I think in the long run, I think it's going to be relevant. I think they're going to need to learn it at school so that they can use it in the day job because, well, we're already embracing it. And yeah, Kath, you would, but then in the real world, you'd ask Chat GPT for your work to do your work and your job. But that's all I've done tonight is I've asked it to remind me what the rules are around companies restarting and writing emails and blogs and stuff. So how do you spot a blog or email, etc., written by ChatGPT? Depends how well trained someone's made it. So if it's exceptionally long-winded, that normally means it's from ChatGPT because it does go on a bit. But all I did earlier was said make this email more concise, and that shortens it. So actually, that's not a true fast way. There are tools out there that scan text and work out if it's AI written, and if so, what percentage is AI written. So there are tools out there, but the kids are already 5 steps ahead of those tools, so it's not going to last long. The other way to spot ChatGPT from a mile off is it likes using Zs instead of Ss. It is an American tool. However, once you've trained it enough, it does stop doing that. So it does learn and it stops doing that. So yeah, you do have to train it more. So if you've written a lot of blogs in the past, then you can copy those blogs in and tell it, I'm going to train you to talk like me, read these blogs, and it will analyze those blogs. It will go, right, you've got a professional friendly approach. You don't use jargon, blah, blah, blah. And it will then learn to write like you. So yeah, it's got a huge capacity for learning, absolutely phenomenal capacity for learning. Another way to check to spot things like LinkedIn posts that are from ChatGPT, it will be laced in emojis. Like it loves emojis. So let's create an MTD post about. There we go. First line, emojis. Okay, there's less emojis in this than I expected. But can you see how long it's getting? So to be fair to it, it's done quite a good job there. It's not done too many emojis. It's done the hashtags for us as well. So really helpful. So yeah, so in that case, then if you are using LinkedIn emojis, but I put those in, that's fine. But I mean, so this post, it's not actually done any emojis. So I'm actually going to. There we go. That's more of a Chat GPT LinkedIn post full of emojis. Brilliant. Cool. Okay. Have anyone else got any other questions about ChatGPT, how we can use it in our firms or in Client Engager, etc.? Or any concerns that they might want? And if I can answer them, I will do my best. Cool. I'm going to take that as a no, and I will end the session. Hopefully, this has been of use and value, and you guys benefited from it. Kath's just saying, I think we should be introducing this to our teams now so they get familiar with it. What do you think? I completely agree, Kath. Now, a lot of people out there are saying, oh, this is going to lead to lots of people losing their jobs. I completely and utterly disagree with them on that thought. I believe Chat GPT is just going to re-engineer how we work. It's going to be a catalyst for us to spend more time with our clients, to increase the capacity we have within our firms, or to achieve things like 4-day working weeks. You know, I set my team a challenge a year ago. They were less than encouraged by Dext and the fact that it could do lots of auto publishing, but I wanted them to maximize auto publishing. So I looked at it and I worked out, I reckoned I could get the team 2 days more time to do things if we could get auto publish increased in Dext. So they all said, well, aren't you just trying to get us out of our job? Like Chat GPT's just trying to get us out of our job. I just turned around and said, look, I think we can get 2 working days back from using auto publish indexed. If we achieve that, I'll give you all your same salaries, but you're going to be a 4-day working week instead. So it's taking their jobs in theory, but it's not costing them anything. It's actually increased productivity so much that we've increased our capacity and we're turning over more money. And they're still walking away with the same salary, the same job, and more time to spend with the family. I think that's exactly what Chat GPT is going to achieve for us. You know, I am able to run an accounting firm of 800 clients with a team of 14 people. I'm sat here running a software company with Andy and Peter, and I can only do that by using the latest tools to help my efficiency. So the fact that I can create loads and loads of email templates and stuff for my team to communicate with our clients in the tone of voice that I want them to in the mere seconds, and I've created training materials and reference guides in seconds that would take me weeks normally, is phenomenally powerful. So I think there's a huge, huge opportunity here. And yes, if you are what I would class as an early adopter, then yeah, get on this. If you're a bit more cautious, then play with it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But it's at least you know what you're going to be up against in the next year or two, which is firms like mine using this on a daily basis. So actually we can take on lots more clients, deliver a exceptional level of service with status emails from Client Engager going out, automatic emails going out, all written in a professional tone with friendly approach, etc., from ChatGPT. That's what people are going to be contending against in the next 2 years. You know, you look at all the bookkeepers and accountants that are struggling with data processing now because they've not adopted auto entry Dext or HubDoc. Well, people can cut the prices on those older fashioned people and deliver the work quicker and more automated because of the tools. It's just going to be the same rinse and repeat cycle happening just with ChatGPT going forwards. So definitely a tool to be using. Okay, so we've got lots of thank you for the session. Excellent, many thanks. It's been a fantastic session. You guys are more than welcome. Whenever there's a topic of stuff like this that I'm passionate about, I'm more than happy to jump on and share it and show what I'm doing with it. Yeah, exactly, Kath. With this, you're going to be able to take shortcuts so you can focus on more important stuff like talking to your clients, which for a lot of people might be a scary concept, but hey ho. Yeah, whoop. Thanks. Only used it once before this, so been very useful. Glad that it's helped. And Bev is just joining, but I'll watch it in full replay. But I've used ChatGPT to give me a 30-day social media content calendar. Boom. Exactly, Bev. Quick, easy, fantastic. Right. Well, on that note, then, ladies and gentlemen, I will leave you to enjoy your wonderful weekends. I hope the weather is kind to you. You get some time off and you don't spend it all playing with ChatGPT. But I will be about in the Facebook group tonight and over the weekend to answer any questions on ChatGPT, Client Engager, obviously. And we are looking at how we can link Client Engager into ChatGPT and stuff like that. It's not going to happen this year. We've got far more important stuff to focus on. but that doesn't stop us from being able to use it in our firms alongside Client Engager to power what Client Engager is doing. So yeah, definitely a tool worth playing with. So thank you very much for all attending. I will speak to you all again soon. And don't forget to join us next Wednesday when I'll be taking you through the Zama integration that will be released next week, where you can link individuals and contacts to Zama for risk assessments and ID checks. So yeah, I'll see you all next Wednesday. Thank you very much.